Welcome back to the Final K with the beginning of opening weekend this Saturday with the 81st edition of Omloop Nieuwsblad. I will be live for this race on Saturday if you want to come and join me and watch along. We're going to take a look at this year's route and compare it with last year's route. We're also going to have a look at the stage favourites, which are currently on your screen, but we will get to them in a bit. All the cobbled sectors are currently going across the bottom of the screen if you want to know details about each one of them. So this year's route for the Omloop Nieuwsblad is 207 kilometres long, which is joint first for the longest Omloop in the past 10 years with 2023's edition. If we want to compare it to last year's Omloop, it had 11 cobble sectors and 11 hill/climbs. This year's Omloop has 13 cobble sectors and 12 hill/climbs. Last year's removed a climb before the Muir, and this year there are 2 new climbs added just before they hit the Muir. In the last 10 years, there has only been 2 bunch finishes, which was last year's and 2021's edition. With the 2 new climbs added before the Muir this year, I am expecting a breakaway win. For this year's race, they hit the first cobble sector with about 40 kilometres into the race, and the last cobble sector 195 kilometres into the race. A couple of the climbs and cobble sectors to note, obviously the Molenberg. They hit it about 163 kilometres into the race. It is 500 metres long, 6.7% average with a maximum of 10.9%. For the 2 new climbs that are added, the 10 Boss, it is 500 metres in length with a 5.6% average and a 7.4% maximum. For the other one added, the Parikberg, it is 750 metres in length, 4.9% average and a maximum of 12.8%. And then obviously the 2 famous ones to end the stage off, starting with the Muir. It is 1.1 kilometres in length with an average of 8.3% and a maximum of 20%. And then the Bosberg, which is 1.3 kilometres in length with an average of 5% and a maximum of 11%. So let's move on and have a look at some of the favourites for this year's Omloop Nieuwsblad. This list is in no particular order, but I have put Søren Warenschold. Apologies if I butchered that, but I put him in first, seeing he is defending champion. Rider for Uno X, he won it last year, like I said. I've seen quite a lot of people talk about him as potentially winning it again. He raced the Vuelta a Andalucía there last week and picked up a 2nd place in stage 4. Next up is a man that needs no introduction. It is Mathieu van der Poel. I don't really know what I can say about him that hasn't been said. He's a freak of nature. The only thing I would say is he's never raced this race before, and it's his first race of the season, so could we see this as sort of a test run to see what the classics are going to be like for the rest of the month? Or is he going to fire on all cylinders from the start of the season? Third on the list is Wout van Aert. He broke his ankle in cyclocross there during the winter. He now returns to cycling as this is his first race as well. He won this race in 2022 with a breakaway, so could we see him do it again this year? Next up is Arnaud Delis, who came 2nd in this race in 2023. I've seen quite a lot of people say that this parcours suits him perfectly, so could we potentially see him win his first Omloop Nieuwsblad? Next up is the 21-year-old from Soudal Quickstep who came 2nd last year. It is Paul Magnier. Like I said, he was 2nd last year, and every TikTok I see predicting the winner, Paul Magnier seems to always come out first, so he seems to be the heavy favourite going into this one. Next up, the young Brit, Matthew Brennan, who won a stage at the Santos Tour Down Under this year. He's riding Omloop, and he has quite a heavy classics schedule this year, so it looks like Visma are banking on him to do well in the classics this year. The only thing is, will Van Aert be working for him or will he be working for Wout van Aert? Next up, the Belgian Bulldog Jasper Philipsen, who came 3rd at this race last year. Benoît Grimay is riding it for the first time in 2 years. The last time he rode it, he got 55th. So could we see him up with the favourites this year after an impressive start to the season? Lucas Kubis for the Unibet Rose Rockets. I've seen his name pop up quite a few times as well, so he is a favourite. He got 6th at this race last year, and this season he has had quite an unlucky start with multiple 2nd places, but hopefully he can turn that round and potentially win the Omloop. And last on my list is Tom Pidcock, who got a top 5 at the 2023 edition and a top 10 at the 2024 edition. He also just won his first stage of the year in the Vuelta a Andalucía. So yeah, that is my list of potential favourites. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of other riders that could win this race. You've got Mohoric from Bahrain, you've got Tobias Lund Andersen for Decathlon. He just got added a couple hours ago because Tish Benoot, I was gutted to see him missing the classic season for Decathlon. You've got Sam Watson for Ineos, you've got Vasek for Little Trek, you've got Tom Scoins from Little Trek as well, Jordi Meuse and Pithy from Red Bull. You've got more than half of the Soudal Quickstep team as they pivoted back to a classics team. You've got Yves Lampert, Jasper Stuyven, Dylan van Baarle and Paul Magne, who I've already spoke about, Christopher Laporte and Alex Zingel for Jumbo-Visma, who I didn't mention, Tim Wellens and Niels Pollitt for UAE. I should have added Tim Wellens into that list, I forgot, but he is being mentioned now. And lastly, you've got the likes of Matteo Trentin and Stefan Kung, who got caught with 1 kilometre to go last year. So as you can see, there are plenty of favourites and plenty of possibilities for who could potentially win the 81st edition of Omloop Nieuwsblad. What I think is going to happen, with the addition of the 2 new climbs before the Muur, I think that a breakaway is going to form, and I think a breakaway will win it. I don't think a bunch sprint will get it this year. So for the likes of Paul Magne, Matthew Brennan, Jasper Philipsen, Biniam Girmay, I don't think that they are going to win it this year. It's actually quite hard to predict because I did have someone in mind for who I think is going to win it. Who I want to win it is Wout van Aert. I would love him to win it. I think it would be brilliant if he won Omloop. Who I thought was going to win it isn't even on my list. I forgot the Adam. It is actually hard to predict now. Mathieu van der Poel has announced it. I don't know whether he is going to be on form for it. So... But then again, he is a freak of nature and will probably attack solo and win and, blitz every cobble climb. I don't want to reveal who I think is going to win it because I'm going to do a TikTok on that the night before. But yeah, the person I thought was going to win it before Van der Poel was announced, I still might go for them, But like I said, I would love Wout van Aert to win it. Yeah, I don't know. I need to think about this one more. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Omloop Nieuwsblad this year? Leave them in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win it? Thanks for watching The Final K. Don't forget, I am live for this race on Saturday, so keep an eye out for that if you want to watch along with me. Like and subscribe as well. I do appreciate it. But apart from that, all the best.